All right, everybody, welcome to the first meeting of our, I'm going to call it the data science study group, using Python and O'Reilly's books on data science. My name is Michael Porter. I am a software developer. I work at MineralSoft as a contractor and then run my own software development business called Muddy Boots Code, where I do other oil and gas software that I like to play with and mess around, stuff like that. I'm interested primarily in things like data science and stuff. It's just a personal kind of curiosity. I've always wanted to do a little bit more of it. I kind of got into it sideways by learning statistics, messing with graphs and messing with other oil stuff, and keeping track of records and things there. So that's pretty much me right here. Next is Nathan Smith.
Hi, I'm Nathan Smith. I am a data scientist. I work at a company called Lovevery, which makes developmental toys and playthings for children between age birth and 3 years old. And my path into data science has been kind of roundabout. I started out as an undergraduate in college studying math and piano. And then for graduate school, I decided to go the piano route. So I went on and got a doctorate in piano performance and was making my living as a musician for a while. But then when I was married and ready to kind of settle down a little bit from that life, the call of math came back. And so gone back to school and gotten some more training in data science. And I've worked in pharmaceutical research and then worked at Lovevery, worked at city government for a while. And I'm looking forward to this, reading this together. I think, there's always different ways of doing things and different things that I'll learn from brushing up. And I also just enjoy having people to talk to this or talk about this stuff with. So thanks for joining. Looking forward to getting to know everybody.
Max.
Hey, okay. Well, Max Gerbatenko. I work with Michael at Inveris.
That's right, Inveris.
Inveris, yes, branding. So I guess I'm just interested in data science in all its forms. I read the book, but I wouldn't mind going through it again. So I'm looking to somebody to talk about it.
Good.
Jeremy?
All right. Yeah, I kind of share the same sentiments. There's not really many people to kind of talk about this with who can actually get excited about it without their eyes kind of glazing over and changing the subject. So it's good to have something like that, and also to have the motivation, because oftentimes I've started a lot of courses and things like that, and without someone else kind of pushing, sometimes I'll kind of let it fall by the wayside. But I kind of wound up coming towards data science. My degrees are in psychology and German, and I worked at a insurance company for a while, and I kind of got into programming and automating my job there. And then since then, I've kind of worked in various analyst positions, like data analyst, system analyst, business analyst, financial analyst. And I've kind of found that the skill set can really be applied anywhere. So, but my weakest class in school was always math. So math and statistics were always kind of foreign to me, but I feel like, just like anything else, if you just put the time into studying it, you can probably figure it out. So just hoping to do with this course.
My former company, we had a pretty big data science department, and people had come from all different paths to end up in data science. One of them was a psychologist. He'd worked as a school psychologist and did graduate work in psychology. One of them was an architect. One of them was a French major. So yeah, all different paths end up in this field, and I think there's a lot of different perspectives that really add value. So that's great.
Yeah. I saw the interview that Michael had done with you, so that's why. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your background was a little familiar.
Good.
I saw that interview as well.
Oh, nice.
You're already famous.
I think I shared that at work. So yeah, there you go.
Oh, cool.
All right. So what I'll do now is go ahead and I'll share the screen here. Let's see, do desktop one. And so this is the book that we're going to work out for anybody who's watching the recording or going to check it out. It's this Practical Statistics for Data Scientists, 50 concepts using R and Python, except we're not going to use R. We're going to stick with Python. I know myself and Max use Python quite a bit at work and do a lot of Python stuff there. I haven't really done anything with R, but as far as I understand it, the outlook is that R is basically specifically for like data manipulation and statistics and stuff like that, whereas Python, of course, is well, for everything. If you can't do it with Python, you probably can't get it done. The import anti-gravity statement is always the best one from the Python book there. But what we'll be doing with this essentially is first trying to figure out a kind of like a good structure to go through the book, like how far we need to go per week, because the goal is to meet once a week until we're done with the book. And then we have things to talk about. So go through here, kind of get a good feel for like what the first week should look like. Maybe just like kind of the first time around, see how far we all get, how like what point we stop at. Because everybody's got a different workload, and some people are going to be able to go faster and some people are not. And then once we get to the point where we start running into code examples and things of that nature, where they've got pieces where we can actually run code and write code and look at things of that nature. I'm sure those will take up a little bit more time because we'll all be writing code and working with Python and looking at that kind of stuff. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Sound like the way to go?
Let's try.
So.
Okay. And so to that aim, what we'll be doing, let me get in here. So we have our Git repo. Let's see here, data science study group. Here at our Git repo, it's a public repo. And so what we have is just basically the markdown for what we're going to be after, a link to the book, kind of the stuff that, kind of the basic structure here, where the first chapter, is the main heading, and then we have the subheadings that are in the chapter. And I think we'll see how we go, but it feels like we could probably get through, if not a subsection, multiple subsections of a chapter per week. So we'll see how that plays out. Our meeting times, of course, are here, and the Zoom link is there, and then a link to the repo that we're already here. I will keep this updated as far as upcoming meetings, and then I'll move past meetings to past meetings, and then I'll add recordings and links and things like that as we go along. Any questions there? Okay, looks good. So what we'll be using for this, so that no one has to install Python, no one has to like have a specialized environment, we don't have to install packages and stuff on our Joe, we're going to be using Google Colab. And so we can come in here and so you can click on this link, open in Colab, and this will go ahead and start the sections for the notebooks and stuff like that. So what we'll be able to do here, of course, is you can like add a code section. It could be print. This is so much fun. You can run the code. And it runs there in the notebook. That way we can build examples and share and do things of that nature. You can build in your own Colab instances and things of that nature. And then so we can do stuff like that. You can then also save it at that point. Up here, you can save that as a GitHub gist, or you can save your copy in GitHub on your own personal repo. So if you want to follow along in the repo, what you can do is fork the repo, and then add your own sections as you go. I believe in the GitHub example, I give like this is like an example of if you want to create your own branches, we can create branches kind of like this for that particular chapter, and then you can do little sub branches if you want for things of that nature. Sound pretty good?
Yep.
Okay. So this way, I guess, if you're not familiar with Git, it gives you an opportunity to get familiar with Git. And if you're a pro, it's good. And then also, he said we get a chance to play with here with the data frames and do things of that nature. So outside of that, that's kind of what I thought we would cover in this meeting. Get everybody introduced, kind of go over the structure of what we wanted to do, and then just provide some examples. So if anybody has some notes, has some suggestions, I'd love to hear them.
Are we open to people joining late if they want to hop on, or how do we feel about that?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I think we'd probably just give it like the good old college, like 5 minutes. After.
No, I mean, like if more than the 4 of us, if there was somebody else who missed today but wants to.
Oh no, for those people, yeah, absolutely. I think they should be able to. We'll post the videos. They can catch up on the videos if they like, and then I'm sure that for some of us the attendance is going to be kind of spotty anyway. Like you'll be able to make 1 week and maybe not make the next week.
Sure.
So yeah, absolutely.
That happens. Okay.
I think that would be fine. I said, as far as the meetings themselves go, like I said, after about 5 minutes, you're gonna have to catch the
yeah.
That's just me. That's how I feel. I'm
I agree.
Whatever. But so I guess if that works for everyone, like I said, we'd like to look at I don't believe there are any code examples like in this first section at all. So probably before next week, we should read through the first section. Mm-hmm. This first chapter, exploratory data analysis, get through that. And then once we are hit a point where we have code examples and things like that, we either go ahead and do them in your collab and save them on your GitHub and do your stuff, or and then that way once we hit that point, when we have our next meeting, we can go ahead and talk about them and see if there's what the code examples are, what they're about, if they're just copy and paste type things where you see what's going on, if you want to play around and do your own data sets and things of that nature. But I think that would get us started all the way through, is go ahead and try to get through this first section before the next meeting. And then sorry, go ahead.
So just to be clear, where do I stop?
That's a good question. I think because I think everyone will move probably like a little bit faster, right? So we got exploratory data analysis, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 subsections in that. So I guess
Mike, when you mean subsection, you don't mean chapters, right?
I guess chapters is the same thing. I think. So chapter 1 is exploratory data analysis.
So yeah, there's 7 of them.
Yeah, so it looks like a sub-chapter or subsection is elements of structured data.
Okay, so I stop when I get to estimates of variability?
Yes, when we get to chapter 2.
Wait.
Yeah, that's what not clear. Right, I'm confused.
Because that first data frames and indexes, I mean, like I read that last night and it was pretty short, and then I looked at non-rectangular data structures, and that one's like 50 pages.
Right. Okay.
Compared to the other one.
That's the part that's going to be a little bit weird, right? So we have to see how this goes. It looks like this is actually quite a few. So why don't we say the two subsections and see how that works. So the elements of structured data and rectangular data.
Okay.
Get through those.
So when I get to estimates of location, I should stop.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then we'll reconvene, next Tuesday and see if that was too much, if it was not enough.
Yeah.
And then what kind of code examples and things like that are probably worth looking at there.
That sounds great.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me edit that markup real fast. So this is now a past meeting. And then upcoming, we will do what? 7 days. Is it going to be 3-1 or 3-2? It's 7 days in February.
3-2.
I think 3-2. Okay.
Yeah, 3-2.
Go over. What is it? Exploratory data analysis. Can't spell. Subsections. Elements of structured data and rectangular data. All right. So information for the course can be found here on our Git repo and the README. And then, this will just be kind of our goal for that. And then we'll see what happens with the collab and everything else and see how that works and runs.
Sounds great.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for
sounds
the work
good.
to organize this, Michael. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
No problem. I'm hoping some people from the Vetsu code come across and do it as well. And maybe pick up some more people as the recordings become available. But I said I'll make a link for those, get those posted, and then I don't know if it'll end up like on Facebook or sorry, not Facebook, on YouTube, or we'll just have them linked there. But we'll get that done.
Nice.
All right.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate it. Looks like it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah. Nice to
Till
meet
next
y'all.
time. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to
Cool.
everybody later.